Welcome. My name is Abhi, and welcome to Future Doctor Academy. And I want to start off with organic nomenclature. I'm not a very traditional guy. What I want you guys to know is that I'm teaching you the way that idiots would learn. So let's get right to it. Organic chemistry doesn't have to be hard. If organic chemistry scares you, you're in the right place. Forget memorizing hundreds of names. Today, I'll show you a simple system that anybody can learn. Think of organic chemistry like reading. When you first learn how to read, words look random. Molecules, they're the same exact way. By the end of the lesson, you'll start recognizing them automatically. Okay, so your only job right now is counting the carbons. Ignore the hydrogens and everything else. Learn these prefixes because you will use them constantly. Every single minute you have to count the carbons. Let's do the first example, right? Just you and me talking. This is how reading works. 2 carbons means the prefix eth. Every bond is single, so the ending is "an". That means eth an. Perfect, right? That's good. Same idea. The second one. 3 carbons gives us prop. Single bonds mean "an". Propane. Now we're following the exact same process. It continues. You have to kind of understand that a single bond means "an", but you have to kind of understand the prop and the as and all this stuff. Let's get to the longest chain. Here's where students usually get confused. Don't count every carbon you see. Find the longest continuous path. Keep that in mind. Longest continuous path. That is what we call the parent chain. Now we get to the big dogs. When it comes to the branches, it equals to substituents. The carbon sticking off the main chain is called a methyl group. Okay? It sits on a carbon number, which is 2. So the full name is 2-methyl-propane. So in order to understand this one, right, the carbon sticking off the main chain is a methyl group. That's called CH3. CH3 is the methyl. That's all you need to know. It's always going to stick on a carbon number 2. So the full name is 2-methyl-propane. So this is what I like to call the 5-step recipe, right? No matter how complicated a molecule looks, follow these 5 steps in order. Never skip ahead or guess. The moment you assume, that's when things get complicated. So let's start it, right? Find the longest chain, number it, find branches, alphabetize, and build a name. That's all you need to do when it comes to understanding nomenclature in organic chemistry. The moment you start assuming, the moment you start second guessing yourself, that's when things become complicated. These 5 steps are the best to building a recipe. But I also want you to understand that common mistakes always happen. This is why students get 35s or 65s, or whenever you see a student get lower than the average, which is usually a 65, because I've been through it all. Students rush. Slow down. Follow the 5 steps, and you'll avoid naming every error. That means counting every carbon, numbering from the wrong end, forgetting hyphens and commas, and guessing instead of following steps. You need to understand that these 5 steps will help you no matter what happens. So I want you to practice. Practice these 3 things, and I put them out in as readily as possible. I'm not the most, but just practice. Don't worry if you get them wrong. The goal is to practice the process. I want you to get them wrong first, but I'll shut up. And you can pause it if you want to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go forward. All right. Today you learned how to count the longest chain, number, branches, and assemble. The second thing you learned is practice beats memorization. The amount of times that I had to practice on my whiteboard was ridiculous because you cannot memorize these things. These are things that come from practice. Next week, I'm going to teach you about multiple substituents. I want you guys to learn this stuff. Okay? I hope this lesson was easy. You can always text me, you can always contact me if you know you guys do feel somewhat of a, hindrance in your organic, but I hope this lesson was easy for you. I tried to keep it more like slang language so that way you guys understand organic a little bit better. But thank you for listening to my lesson, and I hope to see you guys again. Take care.